control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you all are having a lovely day. Today, we're going to be talking about the dangers of being nice. We're mainly going to be talking about when girls are too nice, but a lot of this stuff will apply to both men and women. Unfortunately, we have a problem with society. We are trying to act as if we are a high trust society, but the reality is we are a very low trust society. And we need to understand that certain people, predators, would like to keep us very nice and accommodating and apologetic so that they can entrench on our boundaries and predate on us. So I'm going to be giving you guys a couple examples, and we're going to be talking about some things that I've seen online about how predators use just be nice and be trusting of a stranger to get away with doing things to you. And then we're also going to be getting into some ways that unfortunately men can be kind of predatory against women without them knowing if there's a biological difference between men and women and how they see the world and how they react under stress. And we're going to get into that as well, because that is very important so that we understand what is happening with these social dynamics that are going on in the world today and why this is happening and what we can do now, understanding biological differences that are very real and will never go away no matter how much you try to teach someone out of it. So we're going to get into that today. So the first example that I want to show you guys or speak to you guys about is the shopping cart example. So this is when online, there's this big debate. I've seen many podcasts talking about they can tell you're a bad person if you don't put the shopping cart away after you load your groceries into your car, right? Okay. Now, I would grant that if you are a man, if you're a man, go ahead and put the shopping cart away. I'm all for that. If you're a man, you're a strong man, you feel secure, you go ahead and do that. You do you. Now, I'm speaking to women specifically. Do not put the shopping cart back if you have children. Okay? So we're going to be very clear on the differences between men and women in this situation. So society says, be a nice person, be a good person, be an accommodating person by putting the shopping cart back. It seems super benign to someone who doesn't understand how the world works. The majority of people who get abducted or when they abduct your children, it's going to be in parking lots. Parking lots for women are very dangerous. I'm sorry that it's different for women. I'm sorry it's especially different for women with children. Okay, so it's not going to be the same. It's not apples to apples. We're talking apples to freaking skyscrapers. This is not even on the same planet. Men and women are so freaking incredibly different that we have to understand nuance. Okay, if you are, let's say, a very unfortunate looking woman, or you're a very strong, buff woman, you could probably get away with putting the shopping cart away or doing things that are riskier for smaller, petite, weaker, or women with children, right? There's a difference. There's nuance. So don't say, I know this pro wrestler, 6'4" female that she always puts her shopping cart away. She's a good person. Why don't you do that? You 5 foot nothing. This is not the same planet. You guys have to understand nuance. Nuance is very important to have any sort of intellectual conversation. Okay, so, and I'm happy for you if you like buff women. That's good. I like a little buff too, just a little bit. It's nice. Okay, anyways, so moving on. When you have children, okay, as I do, you will notice you will attract a lot of unwanted attention. And it's not you. It's not just like, you're so cute. Oh, no. It's they see children, okay? And I'm not talking about living in a bad neighborhood. I'm not talking about in a sketchy place where you're like, yeah, that's a sketchy place. I'm not talking about a dark alleyway. I'm talking about when I go to a very high-end grocery store in a very good neighborhood with, very good schools around, very nicely dressed people around, what still happens in this area, okay? So what you will see is when you are looking with new eyes, looking with mom eyes, you will see people who are trying to get access to you and your children. So they're trying to cross a boundary. One of the things that they will do is maybe somebody will park on either ends of your car, and you'll look to your left and there'll be a big dude, maybe some big dudes in the back of the car or van, right? And then on the other parking spot, you'll see the same thing. And it'll be like you're off to the side, off to the corner. It's a little bit secluded. And plus, it doesn't need to be that secluded. I'll get into examples that happen in broad daylight with hundreds of people around. Trust me, the danger is very real. All right. So they will stay there, and then they are looking for women who are loading groceries into the car. When they turn their back on the child and the baby in the cart, whatever, they will snatch it, right? So that's something that happens way more than people want you to know. They don't put this shit on the news because everyone would have like traumatic experiences. It would be even more like women are under enough stress. They don't need to like be bombarded with those type of news stories. And I understand that it's very stressful. But at the same time, it's also very real. And I did work with people who worked in the trafficking sector. And these are the stories we would hear. And also with predators, we worked with predators. We worked with people who were on trial for stuff against children. All of these things. Okay, look, these things are very real, and they don't happen just in bad neighborhoods. It's not like that, all right? It's very common, especially if you live in a big city. It's going to be a lower trust area because the larger the city, the more anonymity, and the more anonymity you have, the more chances of abductions. I'm sorry if this doesn't feel good to hear, but it is real. So they will probably, what they like to do is surround you. Like they'll be in like two cars. So you'll park in the space, you'll look, and there'll be men packed in both cars next to you, right? And if you see that, if you're a nice girl, you're going to be like, oh, I'm sure they're just waiting for someone. They look like nice sweethearts. And you'll be a fool and you'll get out, and then you'll start loading your baby or whatever into a cart, backing up. Maybe you get abducted then, or maybe they wait for when you come back. This is the other danger situation. You are loading your stuff into the car. Your back is at them, right? Your back is at them. They can go around, take your baby out of the car while you're returning the cart. They can, grab you, whatever. Anytime you are giving your back to a stranger, you are in a position of prey. I'm sorry if that feels uncomfortable to hear. And hey, Kat, we should just trust people blindly. You don't know. That's being weird. No. And I don't even care if it's a girl at this point. There's plenty of just lanes out there. Let's stop pretending every predator is a man. We need to calm down. It is just strangers. We just need to say it like it is. Strangers, stranger danger. Don't ever forget that. Okay. So yes, They will try to grab you when your back is turned, when you're putting the cart away. I mean, sometimes you park far because there's no space and you want to leave infants or young children alone in a car, especially, you know what, those stupid clicky things, they can scam those things in seconds now. Like there's a way, like when you're clicking the button, they can, click around the same time and they can steal that code and be able to click it again when you turn your back. It's not very hard. There's ways you can break into cars. It's not very hard. You guys, I grew up in a very low income neighborhood when I was very young, and all the guys knew how to quickly break into a car. It was not a problem because they would just lose their keys all the time. They didn't have like the, whatever. But anyways, it's not that hard. You guys have to understand how when you put judgment on a stranger to act a certain way that you do because maybe you're a big, strong man or maybe you're a big, strong woman with no kids, that is trying to push society to bend to your will. And we don't like that because it's taking away boundaries and taking away our agency to protect ourselves. So yes, women they might not put the shopping cart back. Now, if it's a very well-lit place, you see a lot of women and children around and you feel safe, absolutely. If you want to, you put that cart away. I do feel like there is a line in the sand when you have an infant. You can't leave them even for a split second. Even for a split second. I have been talking to girlfriends, kid you not, talking to them next to the car. And then you look in the car and somehow the toddler has strangled themselves with the seatbelt in a split second. If you're not right there, there's no noise. These kids are just like death-seeking missiles. So I'm not even saying like, maybe somebody doesn't come and snatch them. But these kids in a second when you turn your back to them, they're off in themselves. So we have to understand you cannot have these blanket, be nice, be accommodating, be helpful to strangers, trust everyone. That's insanity. And I stand on that. This is a hill that I will die on because I will not die by putting my cart back so a predator feels like they have better access to me. No, thank you. Or my kids. All right, moving on. The next one is, this is a way in psychology and stuff like that. Like I was watching this woman who deals with predators, all types of predators, and sociopaths and psychopaths and narcissists and Machiavellian types, all the dark triads and more that are in prison. And she's talking about something that I even noticed when I was working with this type of population. And that is people who are very sinister will see you very far away. Like, I'm not saying you're right there. I'm saying you're very far away, but they see you're going towards the door and then they will wait and hold the door for you. So this, to the untrained eye, someone who doesn't know about these populations, will go, oh, this person is just being nice, but they're being nice in a way that is, like making me have to change my behavior to accommodate them. I don't know this stranger, but now they're making me in a position where I have to run further ahead faster than I would normally have gone to the door so that I can accommodate this person for letting me in. And then I have to thank them and apologize for taking too long to run, like, 40 feet away because they just happened to see that I wanted to go through that door, right? So this, to an untrained person, might seem very benign, but I want you to take a moment and think about it. If you are in fact not a predator and you hold the door for someone and someone says, no, go ahead, I'm too far, you're not going to take it personally, right? But if you are a predatory person, the holding the door open for you when you're very far away is a way to gain control over you, because they are trying to say, hurry up, be accommodating to me, no longer yourself, right? So then they're looking for someone, like a prey is more likely to apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to get. Of course it took you so long to get there. You were like 40 feet away. It's going to take a long time. And now they've made you feel like you need to run to accommodate them. This is a stranger. You don't know them, right? So that type of behavior says that you're a good prey to predator. Unfortunately, we live amongst predators. I think it's 1 in 10 is going to be a predator. So they're going to be looking to use, abuse, whatever, take your money, take your body, take, your time, manipulate you for something. And this is one of the tests that they use. Now, people will say, you're looking into something. It doesn't mean that. The people who usually protest the most when someone mentions these tactics are the ones who use it. I hate to be the one who says it, but who do you think is protesting about this? Normal people are like, yeah, I shouldn't make someone who's like 40 feet away have to run and speed up because I want to look like a nice person around to other people. It makes sense to a normal person. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. I should, if they're right next to me or if they're like right there, yeah, I'm going to hold the door open. That's normal common courtesy. But if they're like 40 feet away and I'm trying to make them run, that's suspicious. That's a little bit too much. You're asking a lot of a stranger to like run up so you look good for them. It's weird. And it does create like you feel like you're in debt to someone you don't know because they held the door open. So then if like you're in the store a little bit later, then they might like try to strike up a conversation with you. And now you're talking and you feel more in debt. So you'll be more likely to get a little closer, stand a little closer to the stranger than you normally would. They can inject you with things now. There's so many new ways that they can like make you like fall down and then carry you out of a place. So it's like way more dangerous than it's ever been. And it's always been dangerous. Okay. So the next one we're talking about, like, and this is going to upset everybody, but it needs to be said. The next is when a stranger is coming up to you to ask for donations, to sign a petition, to like try to get you to vote for someone. And trust me, I've been in that position where like I just needed money in a like a summer break. So they're like trying to get someone to vote for somebody in the school board or whatever. And it's a little different because I was a small, young female going up to, normally people who were going into this particular government building would be men or couples, right? So I wasn't going up to a single female. There was no kids ever in this building. So like I was going up to men who felt no problems and families who were like together, like whatever, couples. So plus it's in broad daylight and it so happened to be a police station. So it's not like I'm going to be so bold, my little ass, but whatever. At the same time, if they were not interested and they like waved me off, no problem. I'm never going to pressure somebody to talk to me. That's a predator. Okay. I'm sorry. Anyways, so what else do they do? Sometimes they try to get you to agree to something, to go to a secondary location. Let's go over here to sign it. Oh, it's very loud here. I can't explain this to you around all these people. Come with me over this corner here. And those type of things, you cannot be doing that stuff. I am so sorry. The other thing is when you go up to a woman with children, right? I'm sorry. That's a hard line in the sand for me. You're going up to a woman with children and you're going to try to get her to look away from her child or her infant so that she can look at you. Are you insane? Like that's super, like I don't care if you're like a high school student and you really need to get this credit. So you need people to sign this stupid petition or whatever you're doing. I don't care. That's not my problem. As a society, we need to have a hard line in the sand that we stay away from vulnerable populations because when you go up to a woman with children, that in order for her to listen to you, she has to stop watching her kids, right? So you have put her in danger. You have put her children in danger and her in danger. That's not okay. And I've had grown men try in front of like a really good grocery store, like a fancy, nice area grocery store. Grown men, like 3 or 4 grown men, try to rush to my car to get me to sign a petition. And I know what it's like to be almost abducted in broad daylight. So like, I don't play with that. So of course, when someone is doing that to me, like I have been trained by unfortunate experience that when somebody is rushing to me, I stop. I say, stop. Do not come any closer to me. I do not care. You do not come to a woman with children, period. and I scream it and I try to make as big of a scene as possible. Oh my God, Kat, you're so rude. I don't give to. No, I don't care. I'll be rude and I'll be alive. Okay? Period. Never come up to a woman alone or a woman with children. I don't care. I'm sorry. If you need directions, you can scream it from over there. Hi, miss. Do you know how to get to the freaking, I don't know, the gas station from here? Is it this way or that way? It's that way. Okay, thanks. You don't need to come up to me. You don't need to invade my space. You don't need to stand next to me in my car when there's like a van next to my car parked. You don't need to come up that close to me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I will not deal with any people who encourage you to be nice to strangers who violate your personal boundaries. No. Okay. The next one is no safe person is going to react negatively if a mother says, no, I'm with my kids, please leave me alone. No safe person is gonna, every person who's like, oh yeah, I didn't realize you were with your kids. That makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am. That's what they'll say. That's what good people say, right? I'm sorry, ma'am. Yeah, you're with your kids. That's true. I'll wait for the guy who's alone. I'll bother him because that's a guy. It's totally fine. He's gonna be safe. Stop. And don't say no. Good looking Chad, then it's allowed. Okay, we're not going to play that game because I am talking about women with children. If you're a good looking guy and you're talking to a woman with children, you're probably a predator too. We need to make that normalize. No good looking guy is going up to a woman with children. A good looking guy has infinite opportunities to talk to good looking women that don't have kids. Okay. So if you're a Chad, you're not going up to a mom unless you're a predator, right? Let's call it what it is. Predators. Okay. Moving on. And that's the other thing. If you're married and you have kids, you're not going to be talking to, I don't care how good looking the kid is. I don't care. You have children, they're your priority. That's why I also don't like it. Like when, marriages break up, like I understand that happens. Sometimes you make bad choices, whatever, but you don't date until the kid is old enough, like 18 plus, whatever. They're old enough to, say, I don't like this person or whatever. And they have to have a say. I feel safe. I don't feel safe. You don't let a stranger near your children. I mean, I don't even think like uncles and aunts should be around your children unsupervised. Like, no, it should be you and your husband and your parents. If you know your parents, you grew up with them and they didn't do anything creepy, then fine. But like, we don't bring strangers around our kids. Absolutely not. I don't care how good looking they are. Absolutely not. All right. Because you got to think about, like, let's think logically, and this is going to hurt some feelings. If a good looking Chad type is coming after a woman who's probably older with children and trying to, like, let's say he's trying to hit on her. He doesn't want you. He wants the kids. All right. It's either he wants the kids or he thinks you have money and he can get a free ride. None of these are good choices. Okay. No. So we're not talking to no good looking. No. Not when you have kids. Just wait till they're out of the house. Do whatever. No, this is not for the single moms only. Whatever. Like, don't talk to people when, I'm sorry, like when you have your kids, you can't take your eyes off them. Don't have kids if you want to look at hot guys. I'm sorry. If you're a mom and you're like, I should be able to talk to strange men. No. Or at least if you're going to be weird like that, like leave your kids with somebody you trust and then go be a weirdo. That's fine. I mean, if you want to do that, like, look, whatever. Anyways, stop making excuses and looking for the good in strangers. People have to earn trust. It's not free and it's not given. And it doesn't matter how nice somebody looks or how big the smile is. They have done studies and they find that people who give strangers big smiles and are overly friendly are more likely to be predators. So there you go. So if anyone is like I always with new people have a bitch face. You got to have a nice RBF, right? You need to have the best RBF. It's just like, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm watching you, I'm seeing how you treat others, I'm seeing what you look at, what you want, basically, what you're after. And, I'm analyzing you. I am not looking to be friendly to strangers, period. Okay? I'm sorry. Now, if you are a friend of a friend and they like and trust you and they feel safe around you, I'm going to be more friendly with you. The bitch face will be tampered down. I will tamper it, but I'm still watching. I'm still watching you to see what you do, right? And I'm not leaving my kids near you. Sorry, but I'm going to watch. All right. So the next is when somebody offers to help you when you didn't ask and you don't really need it. Okay. All right. Now, again, like if you are in a safe place, because I know guys are like, we have to do what's it called? Cold introductions, what's it called? Not cold calling, like cold introductions. Like when you're trying to talk to people out on the street, you're trying to like hit on girls on the street. Cold approach. Sorry. Okay. Cold approach. If you want to cold approach a girl, you need to go through all the metrics of, is she in danger? Is this a danger situation for her? And if none of the situation can be conceived as dangerous or putting herself at risk, then it's okay to approach at a distance. You don't touch. You stay within like over an arm's length away, like not where you can grab, obviously. And then you can have a conversation. That's totally fine. Like, for example, if you're both in a public library, there's lots of people around, you're looking at a book, she's looking at a book, and then you go, oh, I read that or whatever, and you strike up a conversation, but you're not touching her. You're not too close to her, and she is safe. There's no way you're going to grab her. You're far from an exit door. You're not on the street. Stay away from parking lots. Never talk to a woman near a parking lot. Never talk to a woman who's walking alone to her car. Never talk to a woman who is inebriated. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Period. Okay? And if you need to, because she's in danger, you have to be respectful. And I've seen many people who are respectful and they try to help in a respectful way. And how it works, for the record, is, ma'am, I see you're going through this and this and this. Would you like us to help you? Or do you want us to sit back and watch you as you leave so that nothing happens to you? Right? That is a helpful, respectful way to do it. Yes, please don't come and smell my hair. But anyways, so if you want to do that, that's totally okay. And I think you should be helpful and respectful to people who need help. But do not be offering help to someone who doesn't need it and they're in a dangerous situation. All right? Or they're isolated. Right? Think about it. Now, if you go to a house party, you can talk to whoever you want. You're all in the house party. You all are around friends. You should be safe enough. God hopes your friends are decent, right? But we're talking about out in the wild. Now, if you go to a club, you have to be careful when and how you approach. You usually want to go, this is how, if I was a dude, this is how I would do it to be the most respectful. I would approach with my friends. So like if you see 3 girls and you like one of them, I would take 2 of my guy friends and I would approach them like, hi, we saw you from over there and we'd like to talk to you girls. Is that okay with you? And if they say no, then you're like, all right, ho, and then you go away or whatever it is, but you ask from a distance. Don't buy them a drink. I don't think I can't imagine that works unless they're like an escort or something. Anyways. Oh, and the other thing is if you're a woman and you're taking a drink from a stranger in this world where even bartenders are roofing people for other people, we got to stop with the no accountability, right? You put yourself in a dangerous situation and you get mad when dangerous things happen. Don't put yourself, like if you don't want anything bad to happen, don't drink anything. there have been times where I've had to go to a stupid club. My husband wanted to go. It was his friend's birthday, whatever it is, or it's my friend's birthday, and it's like, let's go. Okay, I don't really like it. I take, my ear bud things to make the noise less annoying, but you can still hear people talk. And then I stay with the people I know, like, and trust, close to them. And I don't drink and I don't go to the bathroom. I make sure I'm fully dehydrated and I don't care, because I do not want to have to be alone in a bathroom where God knows what can happen. Nobody can see me. There's usually a back door. I don't know if you guys know this. There's almost always a back door to a street, an alleyway, where a car can just drive up. And behind every freaking club, shopping mall, store, department store, everything, there's always like an emergency exit that doesn't make an alarm, that you can snatch a girl and take her in the back by bathrooms. Bathrooms, in my opinion, my conspiracy in the Epstein world, they designed them to abduct girls. So just don't drink. And looking back, that is why women go to the bathroom in herds. You have to keep each other safe. I did not know this. I did not think about this until we lost a few girls in my high school. And then I realized, oh, that is why girls go in herds. I thought it was like they want to talk crap about each other or somebody, but no, that's why they do it. So just, it's a different world when you're a female, and not knowing the little nuances of how you have to protect yourself can get you in serious danger. And you can't just be like, oh, I don't care, I don't need to be safe. It's silly. Anyways, okay, the next one is when someone tries to get you to help them and they are a total stranger. Red flag. Especially if they're male and you're a woman. I'm not saying these things don't happen to men. Yes, your organs are just as valuable as our organs. They are. They'll take them. And they won't even feel guilty. Okay? So, but they tend to take men's organs by doing like honeypot type traps. Like they'll send like hot women to hit on you at a bar if you look lonely or depressed or isolated, and then they'll take you up to a room and drug you, and then you wake up and you're missing an organ, or you're those things happen to men all the time. Please do not think they don't. The other thing that they do is they will drug you and get you to pay for a lot of stuff. There are women that are hired by bars and clubs and all that stuff to pretend to hit on you and encourage you to buy very expensive bottles of drinks and stuff like that, alcohol, so that they get a cut. The two girls, or whatever, how many girls it is, will get a cut, and the location gets a cut. And you guys have to understand, predators exist. It's 1 in 10 people will be predators, and they tend to be more people who are in bad situations. They're in poverty, they're desperate, they're about to like lose their house, lose their mortgage, whatever. There's people are desperate, and they're going to become more and more and more desperate as income inequality increases. So the idea that we live in a high trust society is freaking insane. It's just not true. Now, there are like propaganda stuff about like how in Japan or whatever, women can like pass out drunk with their legs open in the middle of the street and nothing bad will happen to them. And there'll be like compilations of men covering them up with a blanket so like you can't see their legs are wide open or whatever. That is fine and good. There's still a lot of predators in Japan. Let's not get it twisted. And yes, while it's a little less likely because it's a higher trust society, because they're all the same, right? So if you and I look alike, you and I like work in similar whatever situations, we're in a similar culture, you're less likely to predate on each other. But when we have lots of people from all over the world, lots of different situations, lots of different financial situations, stress situations, incentive situations, you don't know people like they do. They have a little bit more reason to have trust. We don't have that here. So anyways, all right. So if you're a male and you need help You can ask a female who's walking by to get a man to help you, or to get a man, to come, or to call someone to help you. You do not ask them for help. If you need directions, again, you can ask from far away, maintain the distance and scream. And if you're too embarrassed to maintain the distance and scream what you need because you're like, oh, I'm so shy, I'm sorry. Grow up. I mean, come on. You have to make the other person feel safe. It's not about you. All right. Now, again, I'm not saying do not help people. I'm saying when you feel safe with lots of witnesses and nobody is asking you for help, because nobody should be asking a woman for help, but you see like somebody is in need of help, but you feel absolutely safe, you can absolutely help that person. And that is amazing and beautiful. And we love that, right? But you have to feel safe. They can't be asking for it, right? And you have to be in control of the situation. There's tons of people around. There's bright lights. There's maybe 50 cameras pointed at you. Like you're not isolated. And it's of your own volition. Nobody has coerced you. And they use things like a sick animal, or they pretend to be limping. This is what serial killers do all the time for women. They, oh, I can't load this in my truck. Oh, I'm so old and crippled. And then the woman, and then he drives off with her. Come on, let's pretend this. All right. So situations that are dangerous around cars, parking lots, near vans, near back doors, that type of back door, you know what I mean? Where there's a crowd of men, a boat or, whatever, or a getaway car type situation is close by. A water situation is close by. You're secluded in any way. You're cornered in any way. You're isolated from others. You can't scream loud enough to be heard fast enough, That's when you have to maintain distance. And there's no need for anyone to ask you to come into their space or to invade your space ever. If they need help, they need to learn to scream it, to communicate it from a distance. All right? All right. Now we're going to be talking about responses to stress and why these sex gender differences are so great. All right? There was fight or flight, whatever, stress response studied for years. And we thought, oh, it's fight or flight. So if you're stressed out, you're either going to fight them or you're going to run away, right? So like, obviously, if this woman isn't trying to fight me or run away, she's not stressed and I'm welcome. Wrong. Women do not have this response. This is a male response. They did not do the study on women until 2012-ish, right? And that is when they found that women do not have this stress response. That requires testosterone. And women are more estrogenic and progesteronic or whatever. So women will do tend and befriend, right? Okay, what does that look like? Let's look at this article from back in the day. Fight or flight versus tend and befriend, right? Okay. If you walk alone in a dark alley at night, all of a sudden you feel the barrel of a gun pressed on the back of your neck and you hear a voice saying, "Give me your wallet or I'll off you," right? What would you do, right? The answer is, it depends on if you're a man or a woman. Wow. If you're a man, you'll either run away quick as you can or you'll turn around and punch the dude in the face, right? If you're a woman, you try to talk yourself out of the situation. Are you sure you want to do this? You ask the robber. If you put your gun away, we can talk about the situation and I'll see if I can help you. That's what women do. It's called tend and befriend, right? They become very agreeable, right? So men and women respond vastly different to stress, okay? According to some psychologists, there's a basic difference. Okay, from social stress. For men, it's fight or flight, while for women, it's tend and befriend, okay? So the research for the fight or flight, thinking it's like for men and women across the board, was done in the 1930s, and they didn't even think to do the difference between men and female. All right. So let's see. We have different nervous systems. So part of the nervous system that deals with automatic functions such as breathing under stress, this is activated, and it will increase your heart rate and your blood pressure, hasten breathing, and make you ready to face down your enemy or run away. And all these studies were conducted on males. So then, okay, in 2000, when they finally did it on women, okay, they found instead of getting ready to fight or flee, women become more likely to express affiliate social behavior, either to befriend the enemy if there's an enemy that's causing stress, or to seek social support from family members or friends, right? So instead of releasing larger amounts of norepinephrine and cortisol into the bloodstream the way men do, the women respond to the stress by secreting endorphins, neurochemical substance that help alleviate pain and make us feel good about social interactions, and oxytocin, a neurohormone that is linked to the motivation to behave in a friendly manner to children and close social partners. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Okay. So, all right. If you put two adult male rhesus monkeys who've never met before in a small cage, they will fight and try to kill each other. In contrast, if you put two females in a cage, they will reduce the tension and awkwardness of the situation by exchanging grooming behaviors and form affiliation that is known to release endorphins and reduce stress, right? The next is the genetic component. So a newer study in Australia suggests that the difference between men and women in the responses to stress may boil down to a single gene. The authors of the study argued that the SRY gene that men have in their Y chromosome between the gene of flipping through, it causes the flight or fight response, while women use a different genetic physiological mechanisms to deal with stress. So fundamentally, under stress, we're completely different creatures. We're not even, we're alien of each other. So, all right. So what does it basically say? Blah, 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 nerd shit. Okay, so women will show increases in catecholamines and blood pressure after stress. These psychological processes are controlled by multiple genes, with the result that male and female psychology is generally more similar. Wait, hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. For example, okay. So they also found that the more testosterone a woman has, the more she is likely to have the fight or flight response. Because I know there's going to be some people who are like, but Kat, I've seen a woman, or I'm a woman and I fight everyone. Oh my God. Okay, that means you have high testosterone in relation to your estrogen. That means you probably grew up in a very stressful environment where your body did not feel safe. So in order to compensate for the dangerous situation that you are under, it created more testosterone. So you switch the pathways to recirculate and create more and more testosterone for you. All right. So that's why you are probably on edge a lot, probably hyper vigilant, and probably very ready to fight at the drop of a hat, right? Something happened to you. Okay. Let's take it back. So, for example, when I was a child, I was like 11 or something, I was inline skating with my girlfriend in summer break in front of the large sidewalk area of our elementary school. Okay, so we're there playing around, whatever. We're latchkey kids. Our families are working. All right, this was just how it was in the olden days, and we're in front of an elementary school, broad daylight, dozens and dozens of cars, some people walking their dogs. Like, this is not an isolated place. This is like a neighborhood, right? A family neighborhood, not a bad area. Anyways, so we are just walking and we're just skating up and down, whatever, in front of the elementary school. And then a big van sees us, they pass us. We kind of like spidey senses. We kind of look at each other and look at the van like, that's weird. Isn't that weird? Right? Okay. Then they basically stop like in front of, like, we're out kind of like on the sidewalk thing, and the van crosses on top of like the bump thing and the sidewalk. They're like on top of the sidewalk, like a little bit ahead of us. And instead of running, because we were children, nothing bad had happened to us our whole life. We were, like in like cocoons of good families. Like we didn't have any bad situation. We didn't even like that happened to other people. That didn't happen to us. We were like, everything's wonderful, right? So then when that happened, boom, there's like 10 guys, whatever, jumping out of this van from like the front seats, from the back of the van. They're like rushing towards us. We freeze. Two 11-year-old girls just stare at them, and we kind of look confused, like, what is happening? What this is, we're like trying to just like, they must be, something, what is going on? Is something behind me? Like, why would they be coming towards us? That doesn't make any sense. Ridiculous. But that is the natural mechanism for someone who's never experienced anything negative, right? Okay. No testosterone. We're just like, hey guys, like, do you need something? Can we help you? Ridiculous. Anyways, by the luck of God, my stepfather was also in a van because he was like a handyman at the time. So he sees these dudes rushing out of the car to like go and chase us, and he slams like, his van like between us and them on the sidewalk, and opens the passenger doors and get the heck out of here. And we like snap out of it. It was just like the spell was taken off of us, and we're just like, oh my God. And like, we just realized what was happening at the split last second. Our brains didn't even compute what was going on. And then we got into the van, and then we sat down, and we just kind of like, what happened? What? Huh? That's women. All right. And it's how we were made. It's how we survived. Yes, it did happen, you little... I will beat you in the streets. Anyways, yes, it did happen. And I've said it before many times. It happened. Anyways, so that is whatever. That's just women. What are you going to do? Anyways, so now, okay, this is where I'm going to get like a little weird. Okay. So women will not fight unless they're past the point of convincing themselves there's no misunderstanding, that this is actually a threat. So we will wait until the absolute last minute where it's like very obvious, right? And that is like if we don't go off to tend and befriend. So the other thing is, how do women get really high testosterone so they don't tend and befriend? Something like what I just said, or maybe something worse happened to them, right? When something bad happens to them or almost happens to them, guess what? Your body will completely change your hormonal profile, right? And that's why we have androgenic conditions like PCOS and all that stuff, where women will suddenly get high testosterone and they'll be very combative. They'll be very man-ish, if you would. All right. It's not saying that they don't also have estrogen, which makes them, like real women, like they're crying, complaining, and blah, 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 blah. And they get their periods and they go nuts and stuff like that. So they still have that. Plus they have the testosterone, which makes them ready to fight at every moment. Okay. So that usually happens when the woman realizes that her environment is unsafe. So it changes the hormone pathways, right, to create more testosterone. And this is a very good thing in retrospect that your body does to protect you. It is the best method for survival. Okay. It's not going to make you pretty. You might get some acne, but you also get really good muscle tone. So like there's good and bad, right? You might not get all like, the benefits or whatever, but like you'll be more likely to fight and save yourself and maybe survive enough to reach maturity and to procreate and have offspring, right? That's what your body's trying to do. It doesn't care if you have a little chin hair, that doesn't matter to it. Okay. Anyways, so this is the part where I wanted to really get to for the guys to understand women, biology, the difference between stress responses and how crazy different and how it's not even in the same family. Okay, men hate this, but convincing a woman who's not 10,000% on board to do the deed is where a lot of men get ruined. Okay. Now, when a woman sees she's isolated, she may have the tend, and a man is pushing her to do something she's not comfortable. Maybe she'd be comfortable later, or more dates, or more, getting to know you. Maybe she's like, I want to meet your friends and I want to meet your family first, and then maybe she would be more comfortable, but she's not there yet. She will go and have the survival response of tend and befriend. Maybe she'll freeze. Maybe she'll become more agreeable. Yes, I'll do this. Just don't hurt me. That's what, her monkey brain, whatever, limbic system is telling her. Just go ahead and do it. And then we can run away when it's over. Once they get what they want, we'll run away and we'll never have to see them again. And that's like a survival thing. Just do it and run away. Okay. So that I'm not saying for men not to make the first move. You make the first move, but then you stop and allow the female to make the next move, right? And if it doesn't happen, you know everything you need to know. The woman doesn't like you yet. Maybe she feels like you're dangerous. Maybe she doesn't feel safe. Maybe it hasn't been enough time to build rapport. This isn't a game where you try to convince them and win it. The more you try to convince someone to do something like this, the more you lose, because we live in a society that tells women it's okay to put themselves in situations alone with men. But then it severely will go ahead and punish the men for trying to do what they were literally designed to do, which is convince a woman to give them what they want. That is the biological imperative, okay? It doesn't make you bad for wanting to do things that you were biologically programmed to do. And if you don't understand the mechanism functions of stress for a woman and why they will pretend to go along with something that they don't want to, you're just going to fall into the trap. So a woman should not be alone with men or a man that they don't trust to back off immediately. And if you're just going on a few dates with them, you don't know this person. I'm sorry. You don't go back to their place, okay? And unfortunately, men are biologically even wired to isolate females and then pressure her, because this is how the species continued. I am sorry that this is what happened. That is why other men would be so protective of their female offspring. Like, they will protect their daughters. They will have to meet the guy first. They'll say, you have to marry her first. We're not going to let you alone. In other cultures, you can only go on a date with like another person from the woman's family. So either her brother or her cousin or whatever will go on the date with you. There will be no alone time where you can cross a boundary, right? And in some cultures, they tie you to a bed so you can't touch her. So if she touches you, it's all right. But if you touch her, there's a problem. So we've already come up with ways to, protect against this. And then the modern culture and feminism and everything said, no, screw biology, screw protecting women from men's biologies. We just need to yell at them harder and then take off our clothes and run around in the streets and say, don't look at me. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's very annoying. Because also you have people from different cultures. In some cultures, women do not uncover themselves at all. And then they, come into this country and they're seeing all these half-naked women and they're thinking, oh, these are free game, because that's what it would be in their culture. So you cannot have a multicultural society and expect to act however you want and not face unintended consequences. It's just how it is. You can't scream at somebody and make their biology change, okay? Now, if you have a uniculture like in Japan, whatever, you can probably do that easier. You don't have a lot of outside influence coming in and changing the culture up every couple days, right? But we do. In America, we do. Okay. So how it's going to look like, right? Oh gosh. All right. And we have to understand that there are a lot of men who generationally have been rewarded for convincing women to sleep with them. A lot of family lineages only exist because the man convinced the woman. The woman was isolated. She made a bad choice and decided to be isolated with the man. She got pregnant, and you did the right thing, but you got married and you made a family. Rinse and repeat, 20 generations were created that way. And then you expect the newer generation, who they wouldn't exist without people doing to not do it. These things are gonna happen. We can't yell at a psychopath and say, stop being a psychopath. We can't yell at someone who's very Machiavellian and say, stop trying to use people. We can't yell at somebody who is a sociopath and say, stop. That doesn't work. We have to understand as a society that if you don't know someone, they are a danger. They are an unknown, and you need to protect yourself from danger. Lock your car door, lock your front door, right? Because you don't know everybody who's outside of there. You don't know, right? And people are going to get upset. They're like, I should be allowed to walk naked in the streets. I should be allowed to get drunk and go home with whoever I want. And then 5 minutes in, say, no, thank you. And they should just immediately fly off of me, bow down and say, I'm sorry, ma'am, my mistake. Here's a snack. And I will stay on this end of the apartment while you watch my TV and eat my snacks. I don't know what they're imagining is going to happen, but I legit have had male friends who have spent all of their money at strip clubs, and they have come to me and my husband and said, you don't understand, she really likes me for me. You gave her money, bro. You gave her money and she pretended to like you so she could get more money. She manipulated you. No, she really likes me. I think there is a biological reason that men convince themselves that people like them that don't like them. They've done some studies and they've found if a woman smiles at someone to be nice, he thinks she finds him attractive. If a woman does anything nice for a man, he thinks she finds him attractive, or that she wants to bang him, whatever. Any positive or nice gesture a woman does towards a man, even if it's for financial, obvious financial exchanges, like a stripper, they think it is because she legitimately likes them more than others. And I'm having these conversations. There's this one guy that was my ex's office mate telling me about how he's in love with this woman that he gives $500 every Friday to do sexual things with him in the, what's it called, the champagne room of some strip club. And then he's talking about he knows all these things about her. He's talking about her life and how she really loves him and how she just needs to do this for a few more years and then she's going to come away with him. And I'm like, bro, she got you to come spend $500 every single Friday, and you are talking to her more than you're doing the deed. So you're getting this fake relationship, fake caring back and forth. But it's she's just doing it for the money. But they don't understand this. And I'm not saying that every guy is like this. Obviously, some guys are I see the forest for the trees. I know the game. I understand, whatever. But there's still a huge chunk of the society that just wants to live in delusion over what's thing. I want to believe that everyone is kind and nice and won't hurt me, so I'm going to act accordingly. I want to believe that the stripper's in love with me, so I'm going to act accordingly. I want to believe that her no means yes and her yes means yes, yes, yes. And so they act accordingly. So we have to understand that the world isn't what we want it to be, but it is what it is. And yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now let's get down to why I think bitches will survive, okay? Nice and polite people don't survive. Be an asshole. Be a bitch. Okay, let's talk about how this can affect men. And like my husband, he used to be very nice to people, like very friendly, and I didn't like it. I'm like, don't be friendly. This is a stranger. Be suspicious. People hate me when they meet me in person because like if I don't know you, like I'm suspicious of you. I'm like, what do you want? What's your MO? What are you here for? Most people are not trying to make friends, okay? They're trying to get your money, get your body, get your kid, or get your organs. They're trying to get something. So when you meet someone, you need to be, what are you trying to get from me? What is your goal? And then see how they're trying to manipulate you, or if they are. And if they want to be your friend, it will be revealed in time. Never immediately. Anyone who's trying to build rapport immediately by using a fake big smile, nobody should be smiling at you if they don't know you. They don't know if you're a predator, right? Think of that. So if somebody's smiling at you, they must be, or they must feel like a bigger predator to you than you are to them. Don't be silly. Okay. So one of the ways that predatory people will get men is usually like financial things. Like they'll be really nice. Oh, I have this really good marketing plan for your business. I'll come in, shake your hand. Oh, I can help you market. It's worked with so many people. They'll bring somebody else in, like another con artist friend, to try to hard sell you. And if you're a nice person and you want to take everybody at face value and somebody's hard selling you with like accomplices and stuff, no, nobody is that interested in you. If it really was a good product, you would not need to be advertising. You wouldn't need to be finding people to pay you to do the thing. People would be throwing money at you. Good products get money thrown at them. It is only when the product is trash that you have to hard sell and that you have to seek out people to do the deal or start the business with, or whatever. I need some venture capital, you'll get whatever, 20% of what? Nothing. So be really, really careful, people. And we know some diagnosed narcissist, psychopath, Machiavellian type, dark triad type. And it's always like, bro, I got this great business idea. I'm just going to need $20,000, just 20,000. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, man. Like, I'm talking to this person, like name drop, whatever, money. Sure bet. And if you're a nice guy, or you're just like, you know what? I want to help out. I want to be a good friend, whatever. You're going to get suckered in. And never, ever give anybody money if there's no contract. And the contract has to be ironclad between your lawyer and their lawyer. If you want to give money knowing you'll never get it back or any return or anything ever, out of the goodness of your heart, you have to believe and understand in the goodness of your heart that that money is gone. And if you're okay with that, then fine, invest. But never, ever do business with someone where you need that money and you don't have ironclad contracts, ironclad everything, all the details worked out, 2 lawyers involved, okay? You need all the things. All right. Oh, and then I want to talk about there's a big uptick in stories now about female on female jealousy, female on female rivalry, leading to either the girl gets beaten to near death or completely gone. This is a big issue, and we do not talk about it as a society enough. And this is when when somebody comes to you with a smiling face, especially as a woman, or if you're a guy and a woman comes up to you with a smiling face, okay, you got to be careful. There's a lot of female predators. Okay, there's a lot. There's so many. They'll take your organs. They'll take your life. They don't care. They'll snatch your baby. Oh my gosh. There was one time, I think it was a Kohl's or something, and people kept snatching babies from people in the women's restroom. Like it would be an old grandma lady trying to distract you, and somebody else would come out of a stall and snatch the baby that's like on the changing table. Think about how sick that is. And it happened. Okay. And this is women doing it to other women. People don't care. Like this idea that women could never, I am so appalled by it, because some of the most vile crimes are at the hands of women. It's just because you don't have physical strength doesn't mean you don't have cunning. You have just as much cunning, if not more, than a man as a woman. I'm sorry, you do. If that offends you, apologies, but women are way more cunning and strategic than men could ever be, on average. And they plot and they do this. So like there's these studies, not studies, these new cases of these women that they tried to befriend a girl, and it's usually like a very sweet, cute girl. Maybe she comes from a good family. Maybe they're jealous because she's cuter than them. Maybe they're jealous because she has more things than they do. Maybe they're jealous because the boy that one of the girls likes is looking or talking to her. She doesn't know. She's like, maybe she's brand new at school. 11-year-old girl goes and talks to the boy who's next to her. She doesn't have any friends, so she's like very eager to talk to somebody. And then there's 3 girls behind that are listening to everything going, she's talking to your boyfriend. We have to destroy her. And they will do it. And so that you have these girls that were murdered, these girls that have been beaten to near death, where like they've thrown them in ditches. They will destroy your reputation. They will do all sorts of things. You have to understand, you don't know somebody. If somebody is trying super hard to be your friend, and I don't want to sound paranoid, but you need to slow down whenever somebody's trying to speed up trust and camaraderie. Okay. And one of the surest signs that you are being targeted by a predator is they pretend to like and have experienced everything that you have. Oh, I like that band too. Oh, I want to go to that concert. Oh, I want to do this too. Oh yeah. Like, oh, my parents are divorced too. Like they're trying too hard to be like, we're the same, bro. We're the same. So then you feel like, oh, I've met someone who's of me, of my tribe. And then you embrace them in too freaking soon. And then they turn around and attack you like a snake. So people have to earn your trust. Don't. Oh my gosh, I played that by mistake. Okay. People do not just trust people if they're good people. They feel you out a little bit. And guys, I'm also saying this, do not trust somebody just because they're hot. I don't care how long it's been since you've touched a female. I don't care. Be careful. You can be friends with people. You can give people chances, but it takes a long time. And don't let your loneliness, don't let your desperation for friends or for romance or for intimacy cloud your better judgment and make you easy prey. And also, don't let your high trust in society, when it hasn't earned it, influence you either. And with that, make sure you do not accommodate strangers when they cross your boundaries. And I'm sure eventually this might get a bunch of predators in the comments saying like, this information is bad and blah, 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 blah. So make sure you screenshot all the predators that comment later, because you're probably going to need it to press charges later. I'm just kidding. But there was one person who she was like a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, whatever. She worked with predators in the jail, right? And she said she never returned her cart. And that's why the first thing I brought up was that, because they use that, like that's a way that they can get access to people and like put their guards down. Like you're turning your back to your kids or you're turning your back to return the cart. They can tell where you're going. Oh, she's going to turn like this. While she turns like this, I can sneak into the car on this side, hide under the seat, whatever, or get the baby or whatever. They always say that. So people were so mad that she was saying for women not to do this, that she literally got in the mail a letter saying, I didn't want to support your algorithm by giving you this any comments or attention, but I wanted you to know that I want to, do this to you, like whatever, and your kids and your family and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like a basic threat. Because like, how could you be spreading that and you're a this, you're a that? Nobody who's not a predator goes through that kind of trouble. Nobody who's not a predator tells other people to lower their guard. Predators do that. Predators say, you better give me access to you. You better be a good girl. You better be a good boy and give me access to you. Give me blind trust. I'm a stranger. Give me blind trust. Don't do it. Anyways, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, a blessed day, and don't trust anyone unless they've earned it. Bye.